The scx24 comes water resistant. So in this video, I'm going to show you what you can do to make it waterproof, and then you can do this. So I'm going to get to it. I know, that was dirty of me to cut that scene right as it was about to get good. But let's take a second to back up and see what's actually been done, go through what I did to waterproof it before jumping straight into the action. So as far as the scx24 coming water resistant, I don't know if it actually says that it's water resistant. I feel like I saw that on an ad before I bought it. I can't quite remember. I'd check a box, but I don't remember where they are. I may have thrown them away. It doesn't matter. As far as if they're water resistant, I would say that's only because the electronics are in cases, but those cases are not sealed. The steering servo is kind of sealed. And then the ESC receiver combo is not sealed at all. They're big holes where the power and everything goes in. So as far as reliability is concerned, especially if you use this thing outside, if you just have an indoor course that you built with homemade materials, you'll probably be fine. But if you ever use it outside, even wet grass or anything like that, the number one upgrade to me is going to be to waterproof it, just to have that reliability and not damage those electronics in the future. So let's jump into that. Start by popping out those hood pins, removing the battery, and unplug everything from the ESC/receiver combo. Then remove the sticker on the driver's side of that ESC case. When I was removing the stickers, I should have gone ahead and taken the body off, so I did kind of skip ahead of myself. But as I was trying to take this back sticker off, the body was getting in the way, it kept falling. It was really annoying, and then of course trying to record it, I couldn't really get the camera in there. So let me take the body off real quick, which is held on by the body pins and those two screws in the trunk area. And with that out of the way, you can remove the whole sticker on the ESC, but I chose to just cut it and remove the part on the back side area. Use a small flathead to press in the tabs on the driver's side where the first sticker I removed was, which will separate the case. Now the steering servo. Disconnect the arm at the screw that's facing forward. Then the two forward-facing screws on either side of the servo housing. Then pull the servo straight out and feed the wire out behind it. These two small Phillips screws are all that's holding the cover on, but first remove both stickers. Then carefully pop the cover off. Try not to pull the rest of the servo apart. Then remove and save this clear separator to put back later. I use this regular household isopropyl alcohol to clean the boards off. Just apply it and then let it dry. Now onto the coating stage. What I ended up going with was a conformal coating after checking online and looking at different options, balloons, nail polish. There were some sprays that you can spray into it in order to waterproof it. I feel like the conformal coating is the most reliable option, most long-lasting, less maintenance. It just seems like that would be the way to go. I got this, it came with 2 paintbrushes too, but I used them and threw them away because I don't know how to clean them. And it was under $20 online. I also watched a few videos online before I actually did this myself, and pretty much everybody I saw was using this stuff inside, but it has a very strong smell. And so what I did and what I'd recommend for you to do is to use this only outside and leave the parts that you coat outside as well for a little while, let it fully cure. I left mine out for a couple days until I couldn't really smell it on there anymore. Also, turn your switch to the on position just in case it gets stuck in there. It's better to be on than off. Then just put a nice thick coat on everything. Avoid the pins where the servo and LEDs and extra things plug in. If you do get any on there, just scrape it off later with a razor blade after it dries. And just remember to coat both sides of the board. And if you get the same conformal coating that I got, or one that has it in it, I don't know them all, I don't know what's available, but this one is 422C, and it has a UV tracer in it, so you can actually use a UV light and shine it on there, and it will show you all the spots that has coating and spots that don't. So if you miss any spots, you don't have to waste any more coating doing multiple layers. You can just do whatever amount it takes to completely cover what you're working on. Now after a thick coating, I let it cure for a few days before I put it all back together. And for any other parts to waterproof, I didn't do anything to the bearings. I didn't do anything to the differentials in there. Didn't do anything to the steering gear area. None of that stuff I messed with. Didn't do anything with the motor or transmission. As far as for the wheels, I used some electrical tape. Scissors and tweezers, and I basically just cut a small piece down to cover the holes that are inside of the wheels. There's 2 holes per wheel, and the only thing I use the tweezers for is because fingers are just too fat to really get down in that space, at least mine are, and it's just a pain, and so it's easier to take the tweezers and put the tape down in there. And as far as any of the electrical connections on the outside, I just used some petroleum jelly, some Q-tips to just get down in there and coat anything that is visible. And that is pretty much all I've done in order to do any kind of waterproofing. Now, this way works, but it is messy. It does kind of wash away. I don't think it's really that reliable. In the future off camera, I may go back and use some clear silicone RTV stuff and try to do a more permanent solution. But we'll see how that goes. I will let you know how that works out. And now that it is fully reassembled and ready to go, let's go back to that watering hole at the end of the introduction video and see how it does there. And that worked and was actually pretty easy. So now let's try some mud. And typically to clean the truck after I would use it, it would collect, dirt and everything on it. I would take the garden hose with the just typical sprayer that has a multiple adjustments on it. I would put it on mist because it's the least amount of water, least pressure, and I would basically just spray it downwards, just straight down onto the tires because that would typically be the dirtiest thing, and clean all the way around them and try to avoid spraying into the holes on the wheels, try to avoid spraying up into the body, and basically just clean it as good as possible. And then I would just take a compressed air dryer blowgun thing and basically just spray as much as I could out from there, and then just try and clean the wheels up with WD-40. I don't know if that's the best thing to use, but it seemed to work pretty well. Soapy water works too. I don't know which is best, but neither one has seemed to have had a bad reaction, so I think it's fine. But now that it's waterproofed, it is a lot easier. And then I use the compressed air to dry it the same way I did before, but now I don't have to worry about the water getting up in everything. And now I've got to be honest, and that mud run that I just showed, it did take a little bit of trial and error experimenting to get that Goldilocks mixture that was in that scene. And that's gonna wrap it up for this one. Going forward in the next videos, the waterproofing will be the only modification that stays throughout every video. I really want to see what stuff has the greatest effects and what stuff has the least effects as far as modifications go. And so I will do a video on a particular mod, and then I'll reset it back to stock for the next video. So stay tuned for the next one, and thanks for watching.